But anywho, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. So guys, welcome to the Generational Wealth Community Call. This call focuses on the 6 keys to wealth, baby. All right. This is not, I know you guys know me for trading, but trading was last night. This call is strictly for mindset. This is a growth community that we have. It's its own entity. And we focus on spiritual wealth, financial, mental, emotional, physical, and social wealth. And that's just being aware of how to be the best version of ourselves in every single each of those areas, right? So tonight, all right, if you're feeling grateful, if you're thankful, if you know that you're on track towards your goals, or you just solely believe that everything that you desire is coming true, baby, drop some ones in the chat box. All right. If you have absolute belief, if you got a goal and you're headed towards that goal, drop some ones in the chat box. All right. I want to pray over your goals, and then we're gonna get started. Give me a little quick second. God, I thank you for bringing us together on tonight. I thank you for your grace, your mercy. I thank you for covering us. I pray for any person that's battling adversity right now, any person that's feeling alone, that's dealing with grief, that's dealing with sadness, that's dealing with transitions, that's dealing with difficulty knowing their identity, their passion, their purpose. God, I pray that you put them in the path and put them inside the resources, the people, the places, the things that would give them clarity and healing and perseverance. Father God, I thank you for allowing us to access our goals, because we know those goals were created the minute that we thought of them, God. We thank you for this amazing day. Some of us had a great day. Some of us may have had a challenging day, but at the end of the day, we're still here. And you gave us the opportunity to change the script, to change the way this movie ends. So God, we thank you for this day. And I pray that every single person on this call, their vision comes to life because they believe it will. God, we already know that it's done because of your creative power and your ability to do it, God. But I pray that they can believe and access that belief, Father God. So I love you. I thank you. And I pray in your son, Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. So let's rock and roll. So we are in the month of July. All right. Y'all, 7 months have passed in 2023. Okay. 7 months. We basically about to be over in July, right? It's 7 months. I'm like, man, I looked up in a year. We got 5 months left in the year. Okay, we got 5 months left in 2023, which is totally fine, right? Because at the end of the day, we have a blessing. We have the ability to choose how we want to change the direction of our path, right? We're not a tree, we're not a lion. We actually get to think and make those decisions. So, through this year, somebody on this call, or myself included, we've fought, we've cried, we've won, we've celebrated, we've succeeded, we've hit rock bottom, we've hit the top. We are on this emotional roller coaster, just life roller coaster, because every single day, no matter what our goals are, at some point in life, it's going to be a rock, right? It's going to be a hump in the road, a bump in the road that we got to climb over. But today you found yourself with enough courage to click that Zoom link and hop on this call tonight. So y'all give yourself some love in the chat box. Whether you're high or whether you're low, you still showed up. And that's what's most powerful. And that takes a lot of strength, because it's not always easy to show up, whether we're feeling good or down. All right. So the next thing is, what are you becoming in the next 5 months? All right. If you compare yourself to who you were a year ago. All right. Today is July 18th. July last year, I want to say I was in Puerto Rico, and I was waiting to get back to take an online course on how to build a course. I think it was July 18th of last year. Reading, studying, doing those things. And you got to think back, man, who you were a year ago, because it lets you know what you've done and what you haven't done and what you just need to do, right? Again, we have the ability to change, and but because we have that ability to choose, okay? So compare yourself to who you were a year ago and what has changed and what has not changed. All right. So I was killing it this year with weight loss. Every single year I find myself having this conversation. But I dropped like 8 pounds. I was on a pound a week. And now that I look at myself, I'm like, dang it, I done gained the weight back. I gained the weight back, right? But it's okay, because what? We got the power of choice, all right? I'm just gonna keep starting until I stick, okay? Until I stick. So have that conversation with yourself and hold yourself accountable. A year ago today, guys, what type of thinking did you have? What decisions were you trying to make? What situations were you trying to get towards or get away from? Think about that. and then go ahead and start making the right choices and take actions on those choices, so that you can have a change. So when you look at a year, let's say in 2024, July 18th, 2024, and you look back to today, how different will you be, right? So one thing I can say, things that have remained the same, all right? The economy is still recovering. They're dealing with inflation. Wars are still going on. The seasons still change. The earth is still spinning. The sun sets, the sun rises. Y'all get what I'm saying? There are things that are still constant. And the most amazing part about things that are still constant, when you can take, we know the sun is going to rise, we know the sun is going to set. If you could take that same, and it's, you know, I kind of want to say it this way, the sun has a habit of setting and rising. And so whatever your goals are, you want to identify the habits that you need, and you want to identify the routines that you have to create and implement, just like the sun rising and setting, right? So if that stays, we know the sun is going to stay constant as far as we know, right? So that's all it takes. It's so incredible how reaching our goals is, it doesn't take effort, a lot of effort. It takes doing this, it takes being constant, right? And we battle with being constant. All right. I was constant for like 3 months, working out, dropping a pound a week. Then the life event hit me and it just took me out emotionally. But I wasn't working out. Right. So I was like, that dog, I got to get back on track. Right. So we have to find ways to remain constant in those things that we truly desire. And if you, again, use the sun rising and setting, the seasons changing as things that remain constant, so you can put yourself in a place. If you want to measure anything, don't measure somebody else. Don't compare, compete, or complain about what other people are doing, especially when it allows you to tear your own self down. All right. If you're going to compare to anything, compare yourself to the light, to the sun, to the seasons, things that are always constant. Okay. You also have to understand, ask yourself, what is it that you desire? And understand there's a difference between desiring something and wanting something. When you think about what you desire, how does it make you feel? Right? When I think about this online course I am building, I'm going to be very honest. The vision was given to me in 2021. And I said, bump that. I don't really want to do all that work. I wasn't really, it wasn't a part of my desire yet. But God kept introducing that thing to me. B, I need you to build this course. All right. So I finally got to a point where I was cornered. I had no choice but to build it, because guess what happened? I finally had a desire to reach a capacity of people that exceeded my ability. I can't teach 100 people at one time. I can't teach 200 unless I do like a workshop or something. But even then I said, well, how can I build something that just doesn't teach people how to trade, but to give them the philosophy, the mindset, the habits, every single thing that I know. So anyway, I was cornered. I was basically put in this space where it was the only thing I could do. I had outgrown what I used to do. What I used to do was no longer good enough, right? And so as I started working towards the goal, guess what? Now, when I think about this course and how the impact that it would have on people, I get excited as I don't know what, y'all. I start cheesing. I be like, man, this thing about to kill the game, because I know nobody has what I have. Like literally nobody is. The information, some of the information is online in different places and websites, but the way this thing is laid out, so I get excited about that. So my question for you, I get excited about thinking about me dropping, I got like 10 music videos. And so after Academy is done, my next transition is into music and dropping my music videos. And I get excited about that. So I have a to-do list of desires. Do you have a desire that it makes you excited? Like if I was an animal, bro, I would be a dog wagging its tail, like, right? I have a strong, my leg's shaking now. I have a strong desire for something. So how does it make you feel? You also have to make sure that your desires are not predicated upon other people's opinions and judgments and biases, right? Don't desire something because it's cool or it's just trending, but have a true, real desire, a God-driven desire for something. And not because it's self-fulfilling, but that it can impact so many people around you. That's what makes me most excited. I tell people all the time, trading, six-figure trading accounts and stuff like that. It used to be a goal, and it used to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to have a $200,000 trading account, 100K. And I'm like, okay, I have that now. And so what happens is money to some degree starts feeling like I'm buying a new car. Like the excitement only lasts for a little bit, right? So I was like, I have to do something to impact people because it has to start going beyond you. So have those desires that reward yourself, but also have those desires that reward other people, because the more people you serve, the more that it will be sown back into you. All right. So what can you do to serve the community? What's something that happened in your life that you can make an impact? Maybe a loved one that you was close with used to love basketball. You can start a charity or a foundation or something and honor them, right? You do something that will make you feel like it's an intrinsic value, right? Like at some point, I have this thing in my mind where when I started learning how to invest, the reason I started learning was to do music full time to buy my grandmother a handicap van. And so I said, you know what? Maybe one day I'll start a foundation where I can just buy people handicap vans. That's fulfilling. Y'all get what I'm saying? So have the reward side where it's for you, but do something that's fulfillment that goes beyond you, where that legacy can continue to carry on. All right. The next thing is, do you still battle with belief, limiting thoughts, fear, doubt, insecurities? If you battle with insecurities, doubt, disbelief, and lack of faith, well, the only thing that you have to address, well, it's couple of things you have to address, but one of those things is forgiveness and letting go of any bitterness, resentment, and hatred in your heart. You got to clean your heart, because blessings and overflow and the light can't enter when it's overridden by the darkness, right? So darkness doesn't mean you out there doing evil things or you're thinking evil thoughts. A lot of times it could be jealousy. It could be low self-esteem. All right. You have to make sure that you put yourself in a position to start building and establishing your faith. The reason you're still if you are dealing with limiting thoughts and disbelief, is that you're not aware of the power within. This call is called the power within, by the way. And I call it that call because for a main reason, once I knew who I was, you can't tell me nothing. All right. And so who are you, right? So God lives within you. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It has to be seen as your consciousness, your light, your confidence. All right. God is my confidence. There we go. So the power within is being aware that God is my confidence. All right. And so the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, allows me to understand that I don't have to control everything. All right. I don't have to know everything. Right. But I know I ain't got to want. I'm going to be taken care of because it's going to supply all my needs. You can never, this is so important. You have to get your consciousness so freaking linked in and so tight and so submerged that there's no need for proof. There's no lack of evidence of that which you are aware of being, right? I'm gonna say it again. I don't need proof. How do I explain it? I know that God lives within me. First of all, I have enough proof from the blessings and the things that I've been through in my life to know that He's an on-time God, and there's things that I know for sure I couldn't do within my own power. But you also have to hope, you got to remember those blessings that have happened in your life, and a lot of times that we've been saved through adversity. But also understand, you got to really embody the fact, if you really understand reading the word and understand these stories of things that have happened, you begin to have, that's the evidence. But go beyond that. Get to the point where, okay, you know that, but now it's like, bro, I don't need no more evidence. I don't need no more proof. I believe, right? So this being true, why not becoming aware of being wealthy? I'm gonna say it again. You got to understand that God lives within you, that you have a power within you that can help you achieve so many great things, but you got to understand that it's God within you. That's where your confidence, you should be pulling your confidence from. So you got to get into that state of consciousness, consciously and subconsciously. All right. So if you understand that philosophy, then why not become aware of that you are great? Why not become aware that you are wealthy? Why not become aware that you are healthy? All right. That you're God loving, that you're powerful, that you're creative, that you're smart. Why not become aware of those things, those great attributes? You got to be able to understand that you got to possess that level of consciousness and those type of qualities, because it's easy to possess the opposite. Somebody can say, I'm not smart. I'm never going to be wealthy. I'm always going to be broke. They have possessed a level of consciousness, family, that would just keep them in a poor state of mind. When I say poor, I ain't just talking about financially. Poor is really just how you think, right? So it's easy to also affirm those opposites, all right? But you cannot allow yourself to embody that. It can't be a belief system. Because I'm gonna tell you this, before you can transform any area of your life, before you can access all these different foundations in your life, these different plateaus and new levels in your life, you got to understand. And this call is about the power within. It's a spiritual community. So if you don't believe in God, you can take it and translate it how you want, but I'm coming from what I believe in, and just translate it, whatever you need to do. But my belief is that I know God lives within me, and that is the foundation for every single thing that I go for in life. And when that awareness is obtained, when you can obtain that awareness, that consciousness that God is within you, that you're made in his image, then until you believe that, and I'm talking about nobody can debate you on it. Nobody can waver your faith on it. Like, bro, I'm good. Like, nobody can waver me on it, because I'll look at you crazy. Like, you can't tell me no different. You may believe something different, or maybe you do believe in God, and maybe you haven't got to the space where you believe at that level. But please, 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 that is the foundation for all my success, and the foundation for the success of the people that I know around me, and they are killing the game. Why? Because they have absolute faith that God lives within them. They have absolute faith that whatever they desire, God gonna make it happen. They trust redirection. They trust mistakes. They trust failures, because they understand the process of being molded. They understand the process of who they have to become. If I wouldn't have blown money, blown accounts and trading, if I wouldn't have eaten unhealthy, if I don't have these experiences to teach me, right, then how am I going to become much wiser, right? So there's materials you can read, there's experiences and conferences and books and audios that can give you knowledge, but also the greatest teachers is also experience. So how do I operate? By the way, my course is faith-based. So I tell people, I'm teaching you Dede and Kiki. Dede and Kiki is a faith-based technique. Like, bro, God gave me this, right? Why? Because I trust that God gives me everything, right? I don't think of this stuff. He said, hey, B, I feel like he leaves me voicemails and I just go fulfill it. That's how I think. So until you pick up the phone and answer that voicemail for yourself, but with complete submission, with absolute faith, right? Bro, I'm talking about insane faith. The stories that people hear, I have been through things in my life, and it's like, bro, God showed up for that. There's been times in my life I ain't have a dime, and he'll be like, hey, call this person. I know they're gonna help you. Or he'll be like, apply for this. Like, it's again, the Holy Spirit is really what it is, but those voicemails that keep being left for you. When you begin to get that closeness, you can hear it with clarity. But if your heart is filled with resentment, disbelief, fear, doubt, limiting thoughts, it's going to be hard for you to receive your communication. It's going to be hard for you to hit your voicemails. So your awareness has to be that God is within you, that he's in control, and that he supplies all my needs. I am made in his image. Until you firmly have established that belief, okay? And when I say firmly, that means there is no suggestion, no argument that somebody can put towards you. There is no reason, there's no conversation that you can have going back and forth with yourself, because it's called reasoning. You don't even reason with yourself. You be like, I believe, right? Until you have established that foundation with yourself, you will continue to return to the form. You continue to return to slavery as a former version of yourself. You'll continue to be returning to the slavery of the former version of yourself. What does that mean? Well, I'm praying that, I'm praying for for my health to be improved. But you believe that you're sick. You are praying for financial increase or access to something, but you believe that you're poor. You believe that you lack things. You have to get so embedded in your thought process and because sometimes we picked up things along the way and we don't even realize we're thinking that way. You got to dissect yourself, right? When I tell people, listen, I'm a millionaire, I don't say that as a hope. I don't say that as something I'm chasing. I am a millionaire because God is within me. God has opened those doors already. God has created the resources. God has done everything. I said I was a millionaire before I knew how to trade. Guess what? Then I was introduced to trading. Then I was introduced to blowing accounts. Then I was introduced to being good at money management. Then you see, there's a process that has to be done, but I never stopped believing that I am a millionaire, right? My best friend, my grandma called me. My grandma passed away in 2018. And before she passed, she called me her $1 million baby. And this is a ring I wear all the time that's engraved that says $1 million baby. My best friend gave it to me. And because when people think about, and I use that example so much because people see the word million and they think tangible things, they think materialistic things. Everything that you would desire, you first have to become internally. So you have to clean your heart, clean it out of any resentment, bitterness, anger, things that are not positive. And once you clean your heart, you can welcome that which you believe. And when you believe it, you become it. And when you are in complete consciousness that you are being that you are that being, there's no way that it's not going to come to you because you are that. You know what I'm saying? So it's the law of attraction, but you can't battle with reason. All right. Thank you. Absolutely. I agree with that. Thank you so much, Desmond. Absolutely. I agree with that. I tell people, don't notice, but I tell people, I think God, I'm trying to help myself. So I believe God really went ahead and took her home because if my grandma needed a caretaker and I was going to quit everything. I think I was only a year into trading. I'm still start getting my technique down, but I was going to quit everything. And he knew I would, he was, and she was like, and so I believe, that happened for a reason because I still had an assignment to do, and I would have left everything on the table. So, but yeah, thank you, that. But yeah, guys, you have to transform your world to lay the foundation that I am God. God lives within me. God creates on my behalf. God protects on my behalf. God sends the resources, the people, the things, the knowledge, the information on my behalf. I don't have to know the path. Oh, that's the beautiful part about it. Again, until you understand highly that you don't have to know everything. Like you get so embedded in your faith, you don't even want to know everything. Like that's how I am. I don't want to know. I don't have to know because it's been time and time again before proof or evidence has presented itself that I just know it's going to happen. All right. So come to terms, don't have reasoning, don't allow other people to influence your faith or belief. It has to be accepted as true, just as you accept that the sun gonna rise in the morning. It got to be greater than that. It has to be the highest level of belief in anything that you believe on this plane. That's how powerful it has to be. And it takes time to get there, right? So it takes time, so people are developing. But the last and final thing is, well, how do you develop that level of belief? Guys, you got to date God. You got to get in a relationship. Okay, I read 3 pages of my Bible. I read 3 pages of some type of personal development book. I'm not just going to church, because when you start reading for yourself, by the way, you actually outgrow a lot of what people speak, because a lot of people just kind of just say stuff just out of redundancy. But when you really, like, I love Proverbs and Acts and James and Ecclesiastes, like, it's so many books. It's like, bro, I got some dope knowledge in here, and but at the end of the day, I just never forget what he's done for me personally. It don't even take me to open no Bible. I'm being very transparent. Me personally, I've been battle tested. Anybody been tested before? You have been at the bottom, done lost loved ones. You've been broke as a joke, right? I'm talking about can't even feed yourself type broke, right? Can't even go buy no bread broke, right? Depressed, heartbroken, confusion, change, so many different things. But guess what? You're still standing. All right. But anywho, that concludes our call. You have to embrace complete awareness that God is within you, and you'll get every single thing you desire. But if you continue to battle and argue with that belief, you'll continue to be a slave to your former self. That's the biggest thing. DJ Cutter. Absolutely, bro. All right. I love y'all. I'm telling y'all, that's what changed the game for me. It's hard for people to really, and I'm not trying to like, push nothing on you. I'm just telling you that works for me, bro. I'm telling y'all what works for me. God is so freaking good, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Like, it's a level of peace, man. Like, you gotta get there. I pray y'all get there. All right. So get there. I don't care how you get there if you can. Y'all have a beautiful night. All right. Our hashtag tonight. What's our hashtag? Get there. I'm so country. Get there. I'm from Atlanta, y'all. So that countryness comes out really heavy sometimes. Hashtag in the generational wealth community chat tonight is going to be get there. You can spell it how you want. GETGEDEHTHER, whatever you want to spell it. But in the generational wealth community chat, I want y'all to drop that hashtag, and let me drop y'all the chat link just in case you're not in there. And we're gonna conclude the call. How do I do this, y'all? And thank y'all for being here on tonight as well. I don't take this for granted, being able to fellowship with everybody. Like, we need this, you know what I'm saying? We really need that space. All right, so that's the generational wealth community chat. I just dropped the Zoom link in the chat box. And go in there and drop a hashtag, you drop a GIF, you clown around. But I want y'all to get there. All right. Establish that foundation that God is within you. He's in total control. Allow him to be in total control. But you got to believe it. You can't assume, hope, doubt. None of that. Those words can't exist. They can't live in the same sentence. All right. Otherwise, you'll be returning to the slave of your former self. I love y'all. Get what's for you. All right. Get there. Y'all have a beautiful night. I love you. Peace. Get there. There we go.